Alright, is everything going to work? These are questions. These are very serial questions, of which I have no answer for. And it did in fact work. Am I muted? No, I'm not muted. Okay, I'm so pro. This is crazy. Are you winning, Enda? No, because I'm not playing. That's the real tech. To be a low bob forever. Yet, in the same vein, talk about the video game so I don't have to embarrass myself publicly. That's the real. That's the reason you cast. It's true. Remove Dumbbolt. Hey, oh. Is that the real Lucy? Impossible. Crazy. Remove Doombolt. I thought about it and I just wanted to keep everything really frickin' simple, so I just left it in for this one. We'll look at having custom rules and stuff like that depending on how this one's go. Bendings when time for tourney. It's the other one. But yes, welcome to What Could Possibly Go Wrong? SFT, the single faction tourney. Everyone plays a single faction for the entire tournament. And then complains about matchups. That's basically how it works. That's the rules. And then if they win, they can say, oh, they got over, they dealt with a bad matchup. That's, yeah, and they removed Doombolt. I think that's the equivalent of the Grav missile thing from Elden Ring, Lucy. Although I do understand why people don't like it in this one. Alright. So we have Spotify versus Pillow. Or we have Prime versus Milky Way. Let's go with the Prime versus Milky Way one first, I think. So yeah, this will be my first tournament having to organize, so hopefully it doesn't go atrociously. We will soon find out. Yippee! But let's watch the Milky Way versus Prime. Is it? Not really. It's a little bit... it's kind of imbalanced. Just a smidgen, I think, maybe. Or it just forces... it changes matchups. Back to Bolt to Desyncs, true. Alright, so it's going to be the Chaos Dwarves versus the Dark Elves. Milky Way versus Prime. Yes! Milky Way gets it. He understands. Chorfs? Yes, the Chorfs. What is it Tequila calls them? The Cooler Dowie? Alright, from the side of Prime, I'm going to guess that Doombolt was involved, folks. I'm going to make this wild assumption. Alright, Supreme Sorcerers of Dark, not on a dragon, with Doombolt and Bladewind. One to clear chaff, one to get rid of the single entities. We have some Cold One Knights in the backfield. Some Dark Shards. And I think they're the Dark Shards with the Bolt Fiends. Nice. The Aura War. More Dark Shards. More Dark Shards. Some more Cold One Knights hanging in there on the flanks. Dark Riders on both flank. No, just one unit of Dark Riders. Oh no, 1, 2, 3. 3 units of them. Some Harpies. His signature move. And then the Bleak Swords as a front line to hold everything in place. Is there anything else that I've missed? Nope. Cold ones. From the side of Milky Way, on the Chorfs, we have Orc Labourers. The unpaid interns doing their thing. We have some Bull Centaur Rendors. Some Gobbling Labourers. Some more Bull Centaur Rendors. It's 3 in total. I believe all of them are with great weapons. Yes, indeed they are. They're pretty okay ones. Infernal Guard with Fireglaves doing their thing. And a Hobgoblin Bolt Thrower. I've never actually seen these used in one of these yet. Never actually seen one of them. Look at them. Look at them go. The Hobgoblins doing their Hobgoblin-y thing. And then we have Drasoat the Ashen with the Flames of Asgroth to get to punish any blobs as they will show up. Yippee! Oh, and we have some Wolf Riders in the trees. The trees are talking. How much value? I was doing some testing against lead belchers and they stopped doing any damage and once there was 5 months left. Show comical level of inaccuracy. Was that with them upgraded down to the 9s or nah? I'd imagine they're not particularly fantastic because we are going to see the mobility core here start to do their thing as they're going to catch these poor hobgoblins with their trousers down That's Dark Riders managing to get a nasty charge in there. We're going to see the Crows of Cain. Harpies move in over the top to try and get the catch with some Dark Riders with shields here, just to try and get the full enclosed. They're kind of isolated on their own. I look away, look away. Oh, good God. Oh, good Lord. Oh, the poor doggos. They are getting... we'll come back to that. We'll come back to that later on. That's a certified unfortunate bestias. We are seeing the full surround come in over here. Very, very nicely done. Managing to get those hobgoblins caught. They're not going to have very much in the ways of support as they are going to be routed off. Feast for these Aura War Harpies. The Crows of Cain will feast this day if they do elect to try and run them off. Some Bolt Centaur Renders coming in to try and get the... just a little bit of support, but they are going to block the Infernal Ironsworn, which is not ideal. But then again, you don't really have many options as they are probably going to rip some shots. Did they get any shots off? Nope. Nopers, no Perinos, unfork. Not going to be phenomenal. The front line here is going to be vibing out, chilling like villains, as we're seeing the box just do box things. But a Doom Bolt comes in from on high, and Drazoath is going to be caught getting pew-pewed. Kaboom, kabam, kaplows. The ICBM comes down from on high. Get them caught up. You hate to see it, truly. Here, let's make this look a little bit better. Here we go. Look at that. There we go. There, that looks a little bit... kind of just looked away and they trickled an infantry unit. Yeah. But there we have it. We are still seeing the surround happen here. Prime's doing the standard thing and just kind of chilling out on the point. He has time. He has like 10 minutes, more or less, to wait for the Chaos Dwarves to try and engage. And hopefully isolate that bolt thrower, which has gotten a little bit of value, about 200 value. Still would favor Dark Elves and Drazoath. Yeah, exactly. So they're forced... I think the overall strategy here that Prime is doing is he's not too inclined to rush in. He is still going to have trouble with the Bolt Centaur Renders and the Fireglaves, even with his mobility elements, because they are just that good. But we are seeing that front line start to engage, and they're going to make pew-pew noises. If he didn't make pew-pew noises while shooting at these Orc Labourers, I'm not sure what he's playing at, as we are going to see the flanks here. The other flank here basically win with no competition. Those cold ones are just going to go absolutely mental. As we are now going to see the Bolt Centaur Renders now start to move up and trying to help out that front line. But the Infernal Ironsword are going to skedaddle forward to try and rip some shots into their archers, who are going to take a little bit. How much value did they get on that value? 56, probably not ideal. The Bolt Centaur Renders are going to path through and try and get some nice surrounds in here. One of them there helping win that front line. Well, help lose it slowly enough, I think. But no, they're just going to kind of vibe out. Oopsies. As another Doom Bolt comes down. Ouch. It hurts. It hurts my soul. As we're going to see the Hobgoblin Bolt Throwers with their 300 value, not to be sneezed at. Keeping one of these chaps in behind to cover the backfield. Of course, the Bolt Centaur Renders are going to be very helpful here. Even with the Cold One Knights, I'm not sure if they'll win that in a straight-up fight. Orc Labourers are going to be in full rout. Drazoath caught in the middle of all these fellas, but he is going to go... He's not going to go quietly or go gentle into that good knight, as he is going to use the Flames of Askroth? Yes, I got it right. Yes, the Flames of Askroth. And that's going to be a Bolt Centaur Render sent away, caught by the Cold One Knights, doing some absolutely ridiculous damage to them. Unsupported, they're not going to do great, and the Dark Riders now are going to help run stuff off. Do their thing. Welcome in, Wella. Hobgoblins are going to be... They're going to be pretty much useless here. They don't have good targets. They didn't get to dive on the backline at all. Oh god, the Bolt Centaur Renders are getting cut to ribbons. Oh no. Oh, it's a bad day to be a Chaos Dwarf. Balance of power is not looking good. We still have some of the Cav in the backfield, but this is just classic. Solid balanced push. Keep the archers online for the entire fight. They're probably going to have some pretty decent value here. Oh, they have 300, 500. Yeah, the archers did pretty well here. Cold One Knights went in uncontested. They didn't have enough. The Chaos Dwarves didn't have enough staying power here, as the Crows of Cain are gonna dive on these Infernal Guard. They don't count as large entities, do they? Are they like dogs, or they don't? Yeah, they don't count as large entities, so the anti-large. Unfork. Oof. How did the funny crossbow but bigger do? 463. Good lord. Drasweth with that spell got some good value. Crows of Cain did okay. Yeah, the cold ones. One of the cold ones feasted. These guys did alright. All the archers did fine. Sorcerer's Death did phenomenally. Sorceress of Dark, sorry. Yeah. Oh well. Oh well. Hate to see it. And now we have Khorne versus the Beastmans. I actually don't know how this goes. I don't know if you have any kiting elements. Oh, you do have some kiting elements here. And a Saigo. Okay, we have to take a peek at this. Have to take an old gander. Gordon Ramsay ain't responding. Ooh. Give him... How long have we been going for? When was the message sent? Give me just a second. Let me do some admin while we wait. Where is it? It's rough. It's a rough matchup? Okay. That was 2 minutes ago. Wait. Getting your casting reps in? Yeah. If the other rounds are done... He doesn't reply. You get a by round. Min after. It's like 2 minutes after. Okay, cool. Nice. So that's the admin done. What have we got here? On the side of Khorne, we have Marauders. Maraudering. Some Khorne Gores. Goring on either flank. We have some Furies furiously flapping their wings forward. We have a Warhound warring. Do we have? And we have the Knights of the Brazen Throne. There's no... Is there... Brazenly rushing forward. There we go. We did it. Minotaurs. They're Minotaurs. They do... With great weapons. They do cool things. They hit things really well. And they get kited out and shot. Yeah, Bahrain, pretty much. And then we have Fight or Die here from the Chaos Lord of Khorne. Friends with the Rage shenanigans, all that tomfoolery. Pretty okay. Yeah, Fight or Die just to get that buff. Not that they need it. It is Khorne. As the Beastmen, what do they have? They have the Aura War throwing Duders. 3 Fredge heads, 2 turtle doves. Indeed. Centaurs with throwing axes and the Aura War. We have some Zangors in the front line just to soak up and tank. We have a Jabberscythe to do some disruption and do some silly things. Breakdancing on their front lines like it's nothing. And then the Cygor lobbing rocks like it's no one's business. Powerful. Look at him go. The rock throwing champion. To end all rock throwing champions. And then we have some Ungor Raiders in the backfield. Just doing their stuff. And the Destroyers of the Drakenwald. Say that one fast. I dare you. I dare you. Aura War. Ungor Spears. And Khorngors. Traitors. Will of the Wisps. Doing their thing. What do we have in Malagor? We have Doom and Darkness. And Mantle of Gorok. Huh. Interesting. Interesting. And the Bestial Surge as well. Okay, so the Centaurs are kiting, as they probably should do. They're running away, which is the smartest thing to do against Khorne. As the front line's meeting up, the Jabber side is... Oh no. Oh no, he's stuck. The Destroyers of Drakenwald? Oh god. Oh no. Help me, Jabber bros. I'm stuck. Oh, that's a bad place to be in the middle of Minotaurs. Uh-oh. Front line is going. Khorne is taking next to no damage. The Chaos Lord here is in the thick of it. Moving in here. We are going to see this charge here from the Knights of the Brazen Throne. Actually doing some very decent work. Khorne Gore's over here. The Furies are feasting over here as the Centaurs are just going to be kited out. The Warhounds running in just to try and get some disruption, catch them off guard. The Jabber is dead. He's dead, Jim. He's so dead. Oh god. Yeah, he's gonna be jabbering on to the next life. Owie. As we are gonna see Malagor jump in. What happened to the Destroyers of the Drakenwald? Where did they go? Some Zangors did actually win in the front line. They were destroyed. Also, Cygor is a wheeled pick. It was cool. God bless him. We take it, okay? The rule of cool is the most important part. And yeah, this is just Khorne doing Khorne things. They're absolutely steamrolling over this build. Good lord. Ouch. Yikes. Like, you blink and you miss it type beat. So the yeah. Yeah, that's rough. These guys getting zoned out by the Furies is just suffering. The front line was going to last T-minus 10 seconds. Malagor didn't get, no value. And then Khorne feasted. Absolutely feasted here. Good God. Like, nothing in particular outside of the Minotaurs got insanely good value, but it didn't need to. It just needed to, like, rip and tear through that front line and just do all the work. Good God. That's an Unforked Bestie moment. Let me just check in to see if people are getting their matches in. We did have someone who wasn't responsive. Okay. Good God. Spotify takes the W there quite well. Drakwald. Did I mispronounce it? I'm sorry. No worries. Alright, Gordon is dropped out of the tourney. Cool beans. Alright then. Let me just remove him. I love admin. Forfeit. Cool. Yes. And that should automatically give... Yep. Pillow gets the round. Cool. Yep. He just dropped. Let me just let the player know. Yep. He just... Alright, you get a buy. Nice. 5 marked units doesn't seem to matter. Ooh, that's a good point, actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cool. Oh my god. Just got a message from... Interesting. Saber's a while, so it seems it's an illegal 5 marked units. Let me just familiarize myself with... One moment, everyone. We have a bit of a moment here between rounds anyway, so we're still waiting for Prime and Spotify. Seems that this is going to be an absolute grind by the looks of things. So we may be a couple of minutes waiting. Let me just familiarize myself. Bup. Beastmans. Oh, okay. So I'll just let Pillow know just for again. For again. You are limited to 4 marked units as per fruit rules. Okay, cool. So he's been let know. And the Beastmans. Okay. So Igor, I like when you don't have the mass to hold. I get the idea. Like, it's not a terrible idea to have the Cygors. Just, like, try and kite it out for as long as possible. That just makes sense. What the hell was this? Okay. Like, that just makes sense to me. But yeah, the front line is just... You can't contest the front line against Khorne. It's just impossible. Impossible. The grind. The grind. Also, let me just check that. It's not going to be relevant for this tourney, but I should probably check for Chaos. Warriors of Chaos. Is it 4 as well? Are all the marked units limited to 4? Scroll up. Max 5. Ah, they're allowed 5. That's why I was confused. Okay. Yeah, just I gotta go. Okay. 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 Thanks. Thanks for playing. Thanks for playing. All right. Well, it seems. We've had Gordon and... Yeah, Warriors of Chaos get 5. You use throwing Accenti on the value pieces and then engage. Yeah, and you countercharge any of the Furies that decide to get the value. Yeah, that's what I've just figured out. All right. Well, we've just had another drop. No worries. Thanks for playing. Thanks for playing. Okay. Okay. So I think he's just dropped. So that leaves Spotify and Prime to play. And then it'll be Milky Way and Spotify, I think. Okay. So forfeit that. Oakley dokley. So, and then there were 3. And then there were 3. Yeah, it looks like it's Malice versus an entire army, pretty much. If the screenshot is to be believed, Lamau. Good lord. Alright, have we it done? Thank you. That is that replay. So let's get that replay on the go. I have a feeling this will be a long one. Oh, it's a close one too. Wow. I was just looking at the screenshot you sent, dude. Holy moly. Good God. Alright, let me save this replay. Epic. Alright, matchmaking. Yeah, I had to send it so you knew why it was taking so long. Good lord. Oh, that is the wrong button. Yippee. Replay is... There we go. Alright. Watch the replay. I'm on the edge of my seat. Alright, let me make sure now that the challenge hasn't freaked out, which it hasn't done. Okay, challenge has in fact not freaked out. Insane. GG insane. Okay, so what do we got? What do we got? We have pretty much the same build as before. Look at this, the Minotaurs. Chaos Lord of Khorne. Knights of the Brazen Throne as well here from Spotify. Chaos Knights of Khorne. Interesting choice. And then a bunch of Furies over top. We do have just regular Marauders of Khorne as a front line here, which is pretty nice. And does the Lord have anything? No, just fight or die. And obviously this Frenzy. And then we have the Witch Elves trying to contest that front line. Some Shades. Dread Spears. Crows of Cain. Not sure why they'd be relevant here outside of just contesting the air. And then the Witch Elves. But we do have some Reaper Bolt Throwers probably going to shoot at some high value targets. Looking at this, they're probably going to be targeting... What are they targeting, actually? Targeting the Chaos Lord? Interesting. And what Lord? We have Sorceress of Death, a Malice Darkblade, a Bloodrack Shrine, and the Charybdis. Epic. And then Reapers and some Dread Spears. Following up on that backline, Crows of Cain are getting shredded here. Good Lord. As the Charybdis is going to throw on in. Looking at this, the Minotaurs of Khorne are going to move in to try and deal with the monstrous entities. That Crows of Cain just got shredded immediately. Witch Elves are going to be trying to hack and slash their way through this front line, but good God, is it not working. One of them did manage to pull through, but the Knights of the Brazen Throne are going to charge on in through and just absolutely wreck the Shades. Will fight in the Shades? No, they're not fighting in the Shades. Good God. Looking here, we are going to see the Minotaurs of Khorne hack and slash their way through this entire blobby nonsense. But Malice seems to be winning the duel here against the Chaos Lord of Khorne. But we do see the Sorceress of Dark here with Doom and Darkness just to get those routes going. As it does seem as though the Minotaurs of Khorne were in fact routed here. We still have some Chaos Knights swinging on by here to beat up the last of these Witch Elves. Does seem as though all the mobility elements from the Dark Elves are more or less gone, as the the Reaper Bolt Thrower is getting shredded by some doggos. You hate to see it. And that's going to be the Chaos Lord sent off. Malice is filled with hate for this Chaos Lord as he's trying to run him down. The Charybdis is going to get caught here by the Minos. It's a bad place to be. And it does seem as though some Witch Elves, some Spears, and the Single Entity Goon Squad is basically the only thing holding this game together. As these other Minotaurs are being sent off for the side of the Dark Elves. They are most likely going to get rid of this Chaos Lord, by the looks of things, as Malice is going to be heading on down over to get rid of him. But look at that shots ringing out, but the Chaos Knights are going to wrap the Bloodrack Shrine in some mass, not getting out of there for free. But that is the Chaos Lord down. That's one single entity sent off. Knights of the Brazen Throne are still in play, and looks like it's going to be a bit of a tussle here. We are going to see the Furies descend from on high with the rage, anger, and hatred. Because they're Furies. They're angry. Getting the wrap there on the single entity squad here. We are going to see some Chaos Knights continue in here as well, just to wrap that up as well. More Chaos Knights coming back, as the point is probably going to be jumped on now in just a second. Charybdis is still in play. I don't believe it has any regen. No. But it does have some leadership debuffs and the Ore of Ardor, I believe that's from the Bloodrack Shrine. Yes, indeed it is. As they're still in play. Did Malice make himself demonic yet? No, not yet. He still has a lot of HP to go, and that's going to be some Chaos Knights actually sent away. Good Lord. Knights of the Brazen Throne are probably the next thing on the list of things to get stomped on. Good God. A nasty one here. Some Dread Spears are going to be holed up. Getting murdered. Murdered? possibly. Not sure what the Charybdis was jumping at. Oh, he's jumping at these chaps here who are still kind of locked up. This is... I mean, the single entities you're going to have are going to probably... Will they be enough to actually win this? Huh. This is one of those where I think... Leader are being more efficient than I thought. It actually did pretty damn well. I'm not sure if we got the Doom and Darkness off on those Minos earlier on. I just didn't quite get to catch whether or not they'd cast it on that. Like the... Well, this is pretty good. That leadership debuff. I'm not sure, does he have a leadership debuff as well on him? Yeah, he does the Demon's Curse. Though the D don't have units to escort them off. No, but I think the bet was that the match would go on long enough. Because again, it's Conquest. You don't have to be charged. You don't have to follow the attacking rule. So they can just kind of vibe out for the rest of it. You know, nothing here has regen except for Malice. Unfortunately. But yeah, I think we have to fast forward this one a little bit. Ripperoni and Pepperoni. Yeah, I think... Because, in all fairness, they don't have much burst outside of, like, the Knights of the Brazen Throne, and even then they don't have much. This might actually go down to the wire. Okay, so they're going to take down the Charybdis. They'll probably take down the Bloodrack Shrine. But we still have the ability to go... just as I was about to say they're going to go full Zarkhan, he goes full Zarkhan. Yeah, the Charybdis is going to be taken out now. Now it's just a case of can the Dark Elves, with Malice exclusively, just grind this one out. Fury's gone. Knights of the Brazen Throne aren't looking too hot. Yeah, this is... Can Malice just do this on his own? I'm not so sure. I mean, maybe he can, like, balance up... He can just outbalance the power, everything. But yeah, they can just, like, skedaddle about the place for, like, 10 minutes. And then it's good night and good luck. Alright. Yeah, Knights of the Brazen Throne are going to go down. Zarkhan is slowly but surely going to soul steal his way through it. But is it going to be enough? I'm not even sure. Because we just need enough balance of power here from the side. Like, balance of power... Look at that there. He's actually regen capping. And then they win. Yeah, he just did... There just wasn't enough there for Malice to solo basically the entire thing. Or do it quickly enough to be able to get the W. Wowzers. Wowzers! Wowzeroonies! Yeah, you need a little bit of mobility. And unfortunately there was just literally none there. Like again, the mistake of trying to contest the front line with Khorne against Khorne is just, it just doesn't end well. Like, the best thing you can do is try and pick off some Minotaurs or their mass early on. With, like, Cold One Spears. Hopefully get them isolated or something like that. And then move in. But that's easier said than done if he just stays together. Because then you have to deal with both the front line and everything else. Yeah, it's tough. It's a tough one. Like, I'd be curious as to whether or not, like outside of just going full kite, is there any way for Dark Elves to do that? And then you still have the Fury. Like, if he went for a full kite build, there's only 2 units of Furies and a Hound. Like, you'd probably be okay. And then if something overextends, you get Cold One. Witch Elves. Usually Dark Elves could do Scourge, Runner, Kite with Witch Elves and Cold One Knights. Yeah, the Cold One Knights definitely make sense to me. Definitely makes perfect sense. Alright, how are we fixed in the bracket? There's only one more to go. Do you want to call... We can call... How are we fixed? Because there's only 3 people left. And now they've all played against each other. But I reckon that Prime didn't want to kite in a small map, which is fair. Map selection was quite literally... I just copied one of the other tournaments. Alright, question. Alright, question. Let me just message the lads and see this. Do we want to skip to finals? Seeing as everyone left has already played. Do you want to skip to finals, seeing as everyone left have already played? Or just play it out. Or just play it out. Yeah. We could have gone for the full if one of the other two had stuck around, like Gordon or Pillow. But we'll stick it out. Chaos Dwarves can beat Karn in melee? Interesting. Oh, because the flame resistance as well can come in pretty clutch. I'm just gonna wait and see. So, Spotify, just as just a quick question, everyone who's left has already played each other. Do we want to? We can either skip straight to finals, or we can play out whatever this last round is. Okay, let me save this. We'll cast this one anyway. So it's up to you guys what we want to do. Because we had enough players before, but with the... But we're kind of limited at the minute. You could do a free-for-all. There is a final match. Okay, they want to do a free-for-all. There's still a finals match in... Yeah, cool. Anyone? We can out the last round. I'm just going to out the last round then. And we'll do... We can do regular finals and then do a free-for-all. Do... Let me just see who's in the current standings. Let's just go to 3. Save. Okay. End the group stage. You and Spotify. Well, what is alive after you globe anything with legs? Hello, and I wish you the best. Okay, bye. Got a session to run. Best of luck. Okay, cool. All right, so they're going to do the regular. They're going to do the regular finals. So we're just going to watch the. So we just watched that. Yes. Did I save it? Boop, boop, boop. Nope, not yet. There we go. Okay, cool. Alright, cool. We got it. Replays. Interesting. Okay. Oh, that's why he was winning that frontline fight. Yeah, sure. Please. Alright, we're going to do a live cast of the finals. Then we'll do the free-for-all and then we'll cast this last match. And then that'll be a stream. Okay. Okay. Do I have a screen filler that I can use? Give me a moment. Let me pick something that is silly. That'll do. There we go. Okay, cool. Neat. Copy. That is not what I wanted to do. There we go. Okay. No. Wrong button. Wrong button. Wrong button. There we go. I know what I'm doing. I'm a professional. Code. Okay. Spectator slot. Okay, just checking in with Milky Way that we're all happy out after this. Code, yes. Yup, pop hog. Alright. Cool. Alright, we did it. We figured it out. Oakley dokley. Excellent. Right, in. Free for all after. Cool beans. Alright. Rats just beak corn and melee as well. Well, what is alive after you club everything with legs? Interesting builds. Yeah, that checks out. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, as I'll get more and more comfy with doing stuff, the more I do it. I'm kind of the general. Big JP was super helpful in putting this together. I now know the difference between a faction war and an SFT. Crazy. Insane. Wild even. There we go. There we go. And we're seeing a little bit more tinkering here from the side of one of our players. All right, and they seem to be getting more or less ready. Yippee! We'll remove it once the battle starts. Yeah, this looks about right. Interesting choices here. If you have a rat monk army, you can beat Khorne in melee. Lol, I was... What the fuck? Khorne loses to rats? Interesting. I'm imagining like it's your debuff stacking and stuff like that to make that happen. Because apparently, at least for vampire counts, from listening to Twilight a little bit, he was saying that like you have to buff stack the ever-loving bejesus out of everything in order to make that matchup even semi-functional. Which is ridiculous. Hey Possum, what's up? Yeah, as vamps, you have access to so many. You have so many different debuffs and buffs. So like you throw a little bit of poison. You have the Vampire Lord kind of. Well, you can't really bring Vampire Lord into that on a dragon because he's too slow. You get Kernecked, Lamau, or Rampaged Lamau. Yeah, Crips, Corpse Cart support. You just stack all of the buffs. Oh, it seems as though they're getting ready. Oh yeah, we can't slow shit down. That's crazy. Insane. Alright, well, we're gonna chance it and hope that no one's a stream sniping loser. Alright, I think we're more or less sorted now. If there's any major changes after this, we'll know something's up. So 3, 2, 1. Boop. Alright, so, on the side of Khorne. Oh. We do have an Exalted Bloodthirster. Blocker still on. The lag, help, lol, oh god. Blocker still on. Shouldn't be now. Yeah, should be open. Yeah, I'm checking it, it's all good. Bloodthirster, Deathbringer. Hitting for really hard and getting buffs. Minos, oh god, this is lag. What on earth? Which of us is the laggard? Oh, whatever. Minos, great weapons in the backfield. Lots of Furies. Marauders in the front line. Seems pretty much the usual stuff, and some Chaos Warhounds in the background. Oh, Lord. Cold Ones. Dark Riders. More Cold Ones. More Dark Riders. Oh lord. OMG, what on earth is this lag? Oh my god. Oh, this lag is... Oh, live matches are definitely something. Has it eased up at all? Oh my lord. Anyway, there's Witch Elves in the front line. Okay, now it seems to be sorting itself. And then Witch Elves. Crone Hellebrand. What does she have? She's on a Manticore. She has Hero Killing Blow, Witch Brew, and the Gaze of Cain. Along with Murderous Mastery. And of course we have Melkot's Enfeebling. And again, still with that shenanigans. Oh my god. That's rough. Alright, it seems to be easing itself out. More cold ones and Dark Riders in the flanks. Just to get surrounds and stuff like that. That's going to be the Sisters... Is that the Aura War it is? Sisters of Singing Doom, the Witch Elves, coming in here. Crone Hellebrand is going to be dived here by the not Chrome Hellbrand, sorry, the Sorceress is getting absolutely minced right off the bat, good god. Gold ones are going to get the charge here against the Minos. Cold ones moving around the flanks here as well. Dark Riders doing much the same. Yeah, this is ridiculous. Witch Elves are going to be trying to rampage their way through here. Is that a aura? No, it's just a forces a rampage. What's up, Dustin? Cold ones swinging about the flanks here just to get the good charges here against the Minotaurs. They're taking a lot of damage for the troubles, though. The Chaos Furies taking care of these Dark Riders pretty handily. Casters being sent off into Narnia. You hate to see it. Obviously here the Dark Riders are doing a decent job here of catching up these Chaos Furies as well, but they are going to lose that matchup. Not great, but these Chaos Furies are going to be sent off. The Marauders of Khorne here are having a hard enough time of it, but they are going to go down kicking and screaming as these Cold One Knights here about to swing about along the flanks. Hellebron is stuck in the middle with you, who's about to get bloodthirsted, not at the place you want to be, as the Cold One Knights are desperately trying to scamper around to get the hits in. These Dark Riders are going to be sent off momentarily, as we do see now the Soul Grinder of Khorne. I missed the Soul Grinder. I seen him in the screen. Is going to be skedaddling about the place. Good lord. Witch Elves getting up to shenanigans. These Cold Ones are going to be sent off. Dark Riders here just kind of get the surround in on the Soul Grinder to keep them off the Cold One Knights, because Lord knows they're going to need it. Dark Riders getting a rear charge here. Crown Hellebrand is getting the 7 shades of shit kicked out of her. Good god. Good lord. A battering, if ever there was one. And then the Cold One Knights running away. Running for the hills. As we do see what seems good. Yeah, this is pretty brutal. I don't remember the last time I saw a Khorne Soul Grinder. Aren't they particularly terrible? I think I've only seen one replay cast with them. Ever. Like, ever. I mean, it's cool to mess around with some cool stuff. Yeah, that lag is abysmal. Let me just message the players here real quick. Where is it? Live turn. There we go. Alright. So, Dusting, it's not only Elden Ring that has severe connectivity issues by the looks of things. Good god. Exalted Bloodthirster is about to get surrounded by Cold One Knights. We still have some Minotaurs left hanging about. Some very healthy. You can't control their shooting. They shoot something random in front of them. They might have a niche. They might have a niche with proper firing mode. Yeah. Hello, Crowned. Looking at this here, we are going to see the Dark Riders skedaddle off. They are going to be caught here by the Soul Grinder. They're just going to try and tie him up for a bit while hopefully the Sorceress is able to escape. It's not looking like she's going to. Furies are still in play. We still have some more Marauders ambling forward, as we still have this beaten up unit of Marauders over here. The Bloodthirsters chilling out in the middle of these Cold One spears. Unfazed. Like this, Dusting. It basically causes the game to stutter and slow down while packets catch up. I don't fully understand the netcode of this game, but yeah, this is pretty brutal. It could be me connecting to Prime. Hilariously. Slideshow, yeah. It's like what happens with rollback netcode and stuff like that as well. It causes stutters and weirdness when there's like packet loss and stuff. I know that I have a cursed connection to certain parts of Germany. Or at least I used to. I thought they'd fix themselves. All Souls players are experts in the meanderings of undersea cables. Yeah, I'll finish. It's open registration, yes. Oh no, they feel this. They feel every second of it. Cause dang slideshow. Yeah, this is pretty brutal. I'm just gonna message the players. Watch Ryder. You've been around a while, and I'm going to beseech you for. I beseech you for guidance. What do TOs usually do in situations like this? Do they play it out, or do they basically go to the players of enjoy your tourney? Thanks, Crowned. What's the done thing? Because I've never been in a position or seen casters in a position like this. Or anyone really. It's an open question to the chat, I guess. But this is actually brutal. They usually leave and watch the replay after? Okay. Okay. Gotcha. Thank you. Faster leaving can sometimes decrease the lag. I'm gonna do that then. Just send me the replay, and we'll get you to send me the replay. Cool. I'm just gonna leave this. Okay. Okay. Thanks, lads. I appreciate that. Because, man, that's poor. Send replay after. Send... replay after. Yeah, I just didn't know. Left at 2:45. Good God. If you want to run it back. Alright, well, while we're waiting for them to... They can send on the replay. Let's finish the cast. There's like one more cast left from the rounds. So we'll finish that. No, it was Milky Way, yeah. Or no. That was the last cast, I think. No, we didn't actually get to... Yeah, we'll watch the replay. Because we didn't watch this. Diabolical. That's a lot of... That's a lot of blunderbuss. Good God. Alright. Cool. So, Spotify, doing Spotify things. Having his double minos. We have some exalted bloodletters of Khorne. One in the center, one on one of the flanks. Marauders. Maraudering, as they are prone to do. And then some with dual weapons as well, just to spice it up a smidge. We have Skyla with the kill for Khorne, forcing that rampage, which is epic. And Skulltaker. What does Skulltaker do? Blood the Onslaught with the debuff. Slayer Sword, getting that armor piercing. And then the Hellblade. Wowzers. Gore Feast giving him regen. I hate the 3-6. Can't fly. Yeah, no worries. Just send me on the replay. That was terrible. And there's some interns as well. Yeah, there's interns over here. You hate to see it. From the side of the Chorfs. We are going to have Zatan the Black with Enfeebling Flow. Enfeebling Foe with and the Withering. Then Sadistic Snare as well for a bit of a net. Sorceress Miasma, silencing shenanigans. It's pretty good. And then we have the Infernal Ironsworn frontline. We have some Blunderbuss, Infernal Guard. More Blunderbuss. The interns in the rear with the gear. And then we have a Demon Smith. with Doom and Darkness and the Purple Sun. Wowzers. Yippee. Alright, well, Zatan the Black is going to silence Skyla, who's going to have to put it very politely, feck off into another corner. With that front line of very angry, sometimes beardless dwarves, with their funny, or their different kind of funnier hats, as we see the blunderbusses go burr, making pew-pew noises, and... well, no, it's the Infernal Guard who are making the pew-pew noises. As we do see now Zatan the Black set up. Khorne doesn't want to engage, and I can't say I blame him. This is the standoff of the century, as we are going to see Zatan the Black land and go, come at me, bro. Come at me, bro. Come at me, bro. As we are going to see some hounds. Smithers has, in fact, released the Flesh Hounds. The Aura War Flesh Hounds, in fact. As we are going to see some exalted bloodletters make some schmoves over there. Zatan is just chilling. He's just vibing. The Minotaur, they're too scared to come forward. That's hilarious. He's like, come at me, bro. Your mum smells. XD. And there we go. We're going to see the explosions do explosion-y things. Look at this here. We're going to get the net. The blunderbusses are about to go burr. Are they actually going to shoot? They are. And Skyla's going to get lit up like a Christmas tree. Unfortunately, the Blazing Beards are not going to be able to get their cast. The Exalted Bloodletters were actually caught up here by the interns, which is a good play. And the interns are as well going to run off the hounds. Smithers, the hounds are retreating, what do? Skyla is not having a good day. However, they are going to be caught up by the Hellforged host, who are going to go, no, you are not allowed to shoot, Skyla. It's against the rules. Bad chorfs. Back in your box. As all of the blunderbusses are going to get caught off. Purple Sun. Oh my god, that Purple Sun comes down. Sheila. Thank you. As the Minotaurs of Khorne are going to pop in. As Sheila. Sheila? Sheila? I'm going to call her Sheila. The Sheilas over there are going to do that. Ooh, yeah. Okay, whatever. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna name it wrong. I'm gonna call it the wrong thing just because of you, Prime. Alright, well, Zatan the Black is still battering things. The Hellforged host are being sent back into the next dimension. We're having a wonderful little blob of Chaos Dwarves over here in the corner. He's going exceptionally well. The Demon Smith is still up and running. He hasn't been caught off guard just yet. As the Infernal Ironsworn have won that engagement. With the Marauders of Khorne skedaddling elsewhere. But the Minotaurs are still very much up and running, which is probably not great considering... yeah, they do have armor piercing. More Infernal Ironsworn getting some decent work in. The dual weapons are going to pop in there and see what's what. Are all of the... no, there's still some bloodletters still in play. So we do still have a source of armor piercing. But I imagine they're going to be dealt with momentarily. Assuming Skulltaker doesn't earn his namesake. And get in there. And doing some wheelies. Some sick-ass donuts. On the poor Demon Smith. Now this is Zatan the Black has dived in here to get rid of the Hellforged host. The Infernal Ironsworn are going to get squeezed. But that just means that they're going to have the ability to attack on both sides. As you do. Yeah, that's the Hellforged host sent off. And it looks like the Exalted Bloodletters, they do have their buffs up, but that is going to be the Blunderbuss sent off. These Infernal Ironsworn are still up and running. We do have a full health Marauder who's about to clean up some poor goblins. Looking at this here, we do see some more sick-ass wheelies. And to answer the question, Dusting, it is a more traditional peer-to-peer. Alright, looking at this here, we still have the Marauders, the Minotaurs, sorry, are still up and running, which is probably not great. But we do still have some blunderbusses still in play, so they might be able to shoot them off the board. The Infernal Ironsworn are still holding up. The the Demon Smith is hanging in there by the skin of his teeth. As it's down to pretty much Minos and a couple of Haggard units of Minotaurs. The Minos, sorry, and a couple of Marauders, excuse me. Looking at that, Doom and Darkness comes down. They're trying to get the morale route, but it does look as though they're going to get a decent charge here against the Demon Smith, which is a hard time. Looking at that, netted. Are they going to shoot, or are they going to glitch out? Okay, they're shooting. Good job, lads. You actually shoot. You actually shooted it. Oh, some more Infernal Guard have come back into play. Minos are getting some decent attacks in here off against Satan the Black, but they are on the cusp of routing as they're about to get surrounded. But Doom and Darkness is about to wear off, so they're going to stay in play. And there they are. They're gone. Now we still have some Infernal Ironsworn. We do still have the blunderbusses, but now it's a case of, well, pretty much everything is going to try and get tied up in melee, so it can't shoot. It might still be able to get some shots off, but there's going to be a little bit of friendly fire here. I actually think ignoring Skulltaker here and going after the Minotaurs is probably a much safer bet, but if it were me, that's probably what I'd do. But the Lord Snipe opportunity is far too tempting, as more sick-ass wheelies and donuts. The net is so long, good God. Me leaving didn't help, I'm guessing. Christ. Replay, yeah, cool. Army list as well. Yeah, that's army losses is basically just kicked in. Sorry, there was a little bit of admin that caught my attention. And yeah, Skulltakers sent off into the next dimension. Ripper. And the Chowie, hold it. Right, GG's. Alright, you guys can do the free-for-all, assuming the connection isn't completely scuffed. So you guys can go off and do a free-for-all. And I'll cast the finals match properly. With no lag. Good God. If the lag persists, Okay. Just don't be on Wi-Fi connections. If your routing can play a part as well as Scander is the issue. Let me just take a quick peek and see what the values were here. How did the blunderbusses do it? Oh, good lord. Yeah, that's probably the one that was shooting Skulltaker. Yeah, these guys did okay. They did meh. Satan did his job. You're going to play some Dawn of War after this? I'm not going to stream it. I might chill in the Discord and play it for a bit. We'll see. Yeah, the Corn had a hard time of it. Good lord. It's been fine. Interesting. For instance, to explain how scuffed routing can be, there were a couple of German players who I literally could not connect to in Elden Ring. Or we connect, but it would be a literal slideshow. One person would always be sliding. And there would be other people in the session, and they both said we were both fine. So routing can cause some pretty serious issues. Like if there's bad wires or whatever. Which is pretty funny. Alright, let me just... that should be the replay of the finals. Oh, start the final stage. I forgot to do that. Nice. Ping is no big deal, but yeah, someone has bad connection. It's a slideshow. I'm fairly sure that there's people who purposefully set up bad connections, like with VPNs and stuff like that, cause packet loss. I'm fairly sure that's a thing people can do, or at least it wouldn't shock me in the least. Yeah, there we go. Okay, we have our last match. And the moment he streams, he lags. That's hilarious. Alright, the lads are going to go off and do their free-for-all, and hopefully there's not going to be major connection issues again. And in the meantime, we'll go back over this finals match. Yippee! We did it. We got through the tournament. So people making the so they can't... probably because they're encouraging other people to disconnect and they can get wins on Quick Battle that way. Or make it so frustrating that no one wants to. We need you, Lion. What's up? Let me in. Oh. Yeah, a Ryder can join. Throw a Ryder in there. Get him in there, get him in there. Oh. Either way you play Corn versus CD on Corn side is Bloodletters or Skull Cannon plus regular, and then right with Minos you kill off the priciest infantry guns and the rest with Bloodletters and Minos. There's always a risk of getting shot off the board. More people are joining. XD. And now they're all in. Epic. Alright, so it looks like we're going to have Bahrain, Ryder, Spotify. Good God. Alright. Alright. Sorry now, folks. Just getting this sorted out. Again, we had a few drops today, mid-tournament, so we're down a few matches, so fuck it, you can do the free-for-all. I'm gonna risk another slideshow. Okay. Alright. Alright, let's continue on with the cast here of the previous match. We are going to have our Exalted Bloodthirster, who's going to be rocking that Bloodthirst. Deathbringer, and he can in fact fly, just in case that wasn't obvious. We have the Soul Grinder of Khorne, who will be grinding some souls. A couple of Minos to saturate into that and just absolutely mint stuff. We do, of course, have Cold One Knights on the flanks, some Dark Riders on either flank, I think. Yep. And then bunch of cold ones. Lots and lots of cold ones with the Witch Elves in here. And of course, Crone Hellebrand with Heroic Killing Blow, Witch Brew, Gaze of Cain, And yeah, everything else then is pretty much as it says in the tin. And then the Melkot's Mystifying Miasma. And an Enfeebling Foe from this Sorceress. Epic! Right, let's crack on. Here's the Furies, which I forgot to talk about. And the Warhounds are going to be skedaddling in to try and do a little bit of that dastardly work. They're going to get this around here in some Dark Riders and absolutely chew them up. As... Oh yeah, you can fast forward to 245. Good point. I forget that I have access to technology. $245 and there we go. Alright, cool beans. Now, Furies are disintegrating. Hellbrand is wounded, but 'tis but a scratch. The Exalted Bloodletter is following her in quick pursuit. Bunch of these Marauders are being sent off as we speak. Some more Dark Riders coming in here just to run some stuff off. Soul Grinder is disintegrating away, and it looks like the Dark Elves, the Silly Billies, the Cavalry, the ride of the Velociraptors as they're trying to chase off the Soul Grinder. Balance of power is in a brutal, brutal way as he's going to be surrounded now by a bunch of Cold One Knights. And that's probably as they're chasing him around the place, leading him. They're going on a lovely little walk. As it doesn't seem any of them are they doing damage to him? Are they doing damage? And he has rampaged everything as he's now going to go ham. About to kill off the sorcerers, which is pretty good. He is taking a lot of damage though. And it does seem as though the army losses kick in. And that is going to be the end of the battle. So we missed a minute of gameplay. I'll know that for again though, that's the done thing to just leave and let people play it out. Fair enough. Epic. Cool. Now these were all casted from the last day. I'm trying to think, do I have anything that I haven't casted yet? Well, I'm going to take just a quick break while I wait for the free-for-all to finish up. So I'm just going to grab some water. I'll be back in like a second. So the soul didn't grind. Unfortunately, Bahrain. You hate to see it. Yeah, I wasn't aware that Dark Elves would be as good as they would be into the corny boys. It's kind of interesting. But yeah, I'm just going to take like a quick break. Grab some water, do some stuff. So I'll chat to you all in a second. And if the match is still going on, I have no idea how long free-for-alls and stuff like that take. We'll just chat for a bit. Hang out with the crew. Alright, chat to you in a minute. Alright, we're back. There are still... The degrees of internal politicking that I'm witnessing here is absolutely outrageous. Lamau. Absolutely hilarious. Good God. But I hope everyone enjoyed the tourney. Obviously, it's a bit of a shame. We had low numbers on top of a couple of people dropped, meaning we couldn't get the whole tourney going. But it's whatever. Kind of the occupational hazard for these things. Obviously, we'll cast the free for all. We'll cast the free for all. Once the lads have finished up, and then we'll call it quits there. Oh, but yeah, if you've any as always, if you've any feedback or anything, I do appreciate it. Slowly but surely getting to grips with the video game. There is so much stuff. Like, there's just so much. There's so much. 12, 15, 18, 21, 24. There's 24 factions. Saturdays don't pull a lot of people unless you're like super high profile like touring, I reckon. Yeah, I wanted to fill a gap just to see how it felt and to see who'd pop in. I'll probably do something Thursday. I am casting the community choice thing that Lucy put together, so I'm quite looking forward to that. That should be a fun time. So I'll be casting that. I'm thinking Tuesday, and then some of those builds look absolutely ridiculous. I love it, but I think it's just due to there being so long since the last DLC, so people are inactive. That's a part of it as well. I'm also new to the scene, so that's always going to cut into it a little bit. But yeah, we'll cast the community choice tournament Tuesday most likely. And then I might do something Thursday, because that seems to be a free day. And I'm off work as well, which is quite nice. So I can actually relax and do it. And then obviously there's the Elden Ring tournament then on Saturday. And then I'll decommission a bunch of the different parts of the Discord that aren't going to be used anymore. Like, games that don't have like very frequent patch cycles can do well. And one of the things, I think I've said this to a few people actually. Fast glass cannon, cav, and no missile units at all. But what I was going to say was that like the Total War community has like the pipeline. The community itself has like the pipeline down. Like the new player tourneys that the RTK lads put together were really good. The Hell Pit in Under Empire is like really freaking good. Clans themselves are pretty neat and a really good like motivation for some people to do stuff. And it just good resources all around for people who are trying to get better. It's pretty crazy. Like, you guys have that shit on lock. Like, there's a reason for, like, hilariously enough, while we wait for these guys to finish beating each other over the head with sticks, I stole wholesale from the Total War lot when it comes to the ER scene. You get an awful lot of the format choices and stuff like that you do are pretty sick. So when it comes to like having that pipeline that your community has that shit down, so kudos. There's a reason I've stuck around. As someone who's like zero RTS like multiplayer experience at all. But in terms of like communities and stuff like that that don't have patch cycles at all, like they can do pretty okay. It's not going to grow quite as quickly. But when it comes to like jank multiplayer, an awful lot of that stuff, especially when it's like an individual experience, they can do well with like grassroots stuff in a community that cares a lot. So fear not. It just means that the algorithm isn't going to do quite. The algorithm isn't going to hard carry as hard as it would with like constant DLCs every 2 or 3 months. Or there's always a risk with Total War patches and stuff like that that they're going to irreparably break something. Total Warhammer is pretty chill as an RTS since it's super light on micro. Needing spend like 300 currency for all the DLC is a bit of a barrier. That is true. Yeah, how much? Hang on a second. We're doing science chat. How much for all of the DLC for Warhammer? Where is it? Store. Just for Warhammer 3 alone. Is there like a whole? Does it show you the whole amount? Surely does. Cost of all. Dav had his recommendations plummet. I mean, that's just the case of like just that there not being a content cycle to kind of like hit yourself to. All right, well, Prime 1. So I'm actually going to end the tourney now. End the tournament. Excellent. Or, and as well as that, people kind of intermittently like dropping the game and stuff like that. It also doesn't help, like to a huge degree. Because it's not, because again, the algorithm isn't like this monolithic creature. It generally puts the stuff that you want to watch in front of you, or that it thinks you want to watch in front of you. And if there's not as many people like watching Total War stuff or kind of moving away from the game, then it's obviously going to like your viewership is going to suffer a small bit. That's the idea behind it. Obviously, there's tweaks and stuff like that that they do on a semi-regular basis when people figure out how to like break it. But for the most part, it's mostly the case of, oh, you like this kind of stuff. Here is more of this kind of stuff. Have fun. Have at it. Right, how are we fixed for The free for all. So yeah, it's just a case of people falling off. Or at least that's my understanding of it anyway. I could be wrong. Take fistfuls of salt with that one, I reckon. Like, how are people doing these days? Let me take a peek. Yeah, all about the 2K mark. It's pretty consistent. A couple of them going into 3. That's pretty ordinary. Yeah, and as more people kind of filter into the community, they'll pick it up. Older stuff closer to DLC does better. Major patches. Patches are a big one, I feel, more so than even DLC. I think I did this for... There was a major meta shift patch for Elden Ring, and I think you can actually see like a bump in numbers. Not a very big one, but considering how small the multiplayer community is for that game. Steam charts. There we go. Yeah, there was a small bump by like 10,000. Good lord. And then it kept higher numbers then after that. So like major patches can definitely make people more interested in like games for longer, especially when things they're still going. They're having a whale of a time. I'd be curious to see what the how is Total War Warhammer even doing. I never checked Hammer 3 Steam charts. Warhammer 3. Yeah, everything looks mostly normal. You have a patch, and then it goes down, and then you have a patch, and then it goes down. Like, and stuff like major tournaments like the big faction wars that, like, at least for the land battle crowd, or even Queek have put together. Actually, let me check how many people are in that fucking bracket now. I don't think I've ever been part of a tournament that fucking big. Because they have like, what, like 50, 60 players in that right now? Challenge. Let me take a peek and see how that bracket is doing. 56 players. Good God. Christ. And as far as I can tell for that event, it's pretty much nearly all of the top players are in it as well. Good God. Okay, how are we fixed? Well done. Thank you. Copy. Let's put that into the folder. Yippee. God, that was funny. Alright. Alright. Let's take a peek. Let's go. Let's go. Alright, cool. I've done the admin. Alright, I need to see this. Free for all Endodalium. Alright, is this it? Alright. We have Milky Way, Prime, Spotify, and of Daz of Play's fame, a writer of Rohan, in this free for all. I'm probably gonna... you know what? I'm not even going to, like... What does everyone have? We have a Chaos Lord of Khorne and a bunch of stuff. There we go. We've Drazawat the Ashen with some other things. We have Tyrion and a mage, I guess. And then we have the Supreme Sorceress of Dark and all. Is this the Doomfire? All of the Doomfire Warlocks to just spam that shit. Lamau. What a map. As we are going to see the High Elves and the Dark Elves beat each other up for a bit. Looking over here, we're seeing the Chaos Dwarves kind of inch their way slowly but surely over to the side of Khorne, as you do. With some hobgoblins just vibing in the corner. Full kite! The Illyrian Reavers here. From the side of Ryder. Little bit... A very kitey build here from the side of Prime as well. Good God. As we are going to see the ICBM spotter coming in over the steaming pile of what appears to be warpstone. Yes, yes. As we're still seeing the Chaos Dwarves fight their way over across here. That's like almost to find the warpstone for a bit. Lamau, oh, good God. Alright, well we are going to see the Reavers earn their namesake and get up to shenanigans by shooting at some cold ones, weakening them up just a little bit. Star Dragon is chilling. We are going to see Khorne getting into position over here in the corner. Looking over here, we still have the Chaos Dwarfs. They're just chilling. This map is awful if you ever want to shoot something. That's hilarious. And there's the first ICBM in getting the Mage of Metal. Another one. Doomfire Warlocks are having a whale of a time. Boom. And another. And another. The mage will be avenged, said Ryder. Good God. Star Dragon is taking... I'm just going to ignore the Chaos Dwarfs for a bit. As we are seeing Khorne. They're happy to let the Elf Civil War do its thing. Very smart plays. We're slowly but surely seeing them inch their way over, as it seems the Dark Elves are about to be sandwiched. between these two. As we're still having more kitey nonsense going on. People did not like Prime this day. As we are going to see these Doomfire Warlocks charged in. But I think that's a Soul Stealer. Oh my god, it is. I got it right. That's crazy. Or Soul Blight. Sorry. Never mind, I was still wrong. Ripperoni and Pepperoni. As we are seeing Tyrion completely surrounded. Absolutely surrounded. As the Dragon Princes are going to be feasting over here. With the Star Dragon popping in for a bit of a nibble. The Chaos Dwarves are still slowly but surely making their way over. As we are going to see finally. So, you know what? Milky Way, I think you were onto something there. As the Star Dragon takes a little bit of damage, a little bit of friendly fire there. I think that's friendly fire anyway on the Cold One Knights. My lord wanted to 1v1 with the other lords. You're nerds, good god. Says the guy who's, instead of playing the game, is talking about other people play it. As the archers are good, the Reavers, Illyrian Reaver archers. The Reavers are gonna plop in there for a cheeky charge in against some cold ones. This grind here is not going well in the favour of the Doomfire Warlocks. As the Furies come in and help out. Or Psych, I guess. XD. Go over here, the Chaos Dwarves. They're just chilling. Milky Way, you're a bad human being. I just want you to know that. As we do see all of this shenanigans go very much one way. Supreme Sorceress of Dark is basically on death's door. But we do see the Star Dragon take a lot of damage. As that's most of the Dark Elves now gone. We are still seeing Khorne flirt with getting involved. But only just a little bit. As we do see some sneaky gits. Instead of walking forward, walking backwards. Look at them go. Doing the greenskin thing of running in the opposite direction. Very understandable. And now they're finally starting to get involved. As the Hargoneth Executioners, the Blades of the Blood Queen, are getting cycle charged by everything. Epic. That's basically the Dark Elves gone. As these Furies are now going to get shot at for a bit. But, a final fuck you onto the Star Dragon again. And that's the end of them, and that's more or less the end of the Dark Elves, who are now skedaddling away. Oh, it's Spotify! As they have now completely dealt with all of the High Elves stuff. Or not the High Elves. So the High Elves and a little bit of Khorne have more or less dealt with all of the Dark Elves. They're gone. And the Furies are now gone. But Drazoath has finally gotten involved. And it does seem as though the Supreme Sorceress of Dark is the last one standing. And it looks like Drazoath is finally getting involved. Beautiful display of teaming. Beautiful display of teaming. Oh, and she's going to get the stinky breath put on her. Excellent. But she still gets another cast of the dragon. No more will Rider of Rohan. No more will he claim that Silver Helms need a buff. And it does seem as though Drazoath is making sure that... Nope! She's still in it. She's in it to win it. to cast Doom Bolt on everything, as we do now see Spotify amble forward, slowly but surely. And now the High Elves have decided, rather accurately, that they're probably not going to get involved over there for a bit. Alright, let's fast forward this for people to actually start doing something. Probably should have insisted on the attacking rule for this. I'm realizing in hindsight. I don't even know how that would work. Bro, you just stared at each other for half an hour? Good God, no wonder this took forever. Good Lord. Yeah, I think the attacking rule has to be brought in for this. Good Lord. Although, in all fairness, Ryder is doing it. Good job, Ryder of Rohan, the honorable elf. Oh, and that's the end of the Minos. And it does seem... like I said, I want my Lord to have a 1v1. I don't think throwing Minotaurs at him is necessarily a 1v1 situation there, Spotify. I'm just putting that out there. As we're finally starting to see the Chaos Dwarves do something. Bro, the worst free-for-all ever. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty... To be fair, the free-for-all wasn't exactly planned. Alright, now finally Khorne is doing something. Good Lord. It's a 1v1 with some pets. You see, that's not the point of a free-for-all. But whatever. I'll know for again. Now the Chaos Dwarves get involved. Ryder still has some tools in his back pocket. Yeah, good Lord. Oh. Let me just get rid of this person real quick from Twitch chat. Goodbye. Bot. Gotten rid of, don't worry. Weird that it even showed up at all. Alright, Tyrion's caught in the middle, getting Drazawathed. Star Dragon is somehow still alive. Alright, Star Dragon's down. We have the 1v1 that we've all been waiting for. That's now kind of a 1v2. Goodbye. Good Lord. Alright, in future, folks, we're gonna need rules for this shit. Because that was one of the things I've ever seen. Good God. And the Chaos Dwarf sweep then at the end. Good Lord. Alright. Well, what could possibly go wrong? What could possibly go wrong? Ugh. Alright. Alright. Ladies and gentlemen. He wins in our hearts, basically. Okay. So. What have we learned today? Probably not to do tournaments on Saturdays. Lamau. You hate to see it as a sports fan. Spectating matches is a dice roll. And to leave earlier. If it is glitching out like you wouldn't believe. Good God. Oh, you can, that's how you do it. Cool. Now I'll know for again. Well, this is why anti-passivity rules exist. But either way, okay. He is the biggest scorer. Though he did win, he is the biggest scorer. Oh, that's how it works. Interesting. Ah, that's how they get around it. Interesting. I have never seen a free-for-all in my life, so... And have that be a gimmick? Yeah, we'll think about it. We will have to add, like, attacking rules and stuff like that, just to make sure people don't, like, vibe out in a corner for the entire thing. And try to sweep at the end. Or I'll have to look at how rules are even worth doing. But either way, ladies and gentlemen, to Milky Way, to Prime, and to Spotify, thank you all for sticking it out to the end. I appreciate you. And even the rest of them who didn't make it. Pillow, thank you for stopping by as well earlier on. It was a pleasure having you in, even if you only stuck for one round. Dawn of War Remaker Riot. I'm going to finish stream now, Stowe. I might chill in Discord and do it. My voice is ripped to shreds right now. Boo this man. Thank you, Enda. But yeah, thank you all so much. Tuesday we'll be hosting the community choice tourney that Lucy put together. So we'll cast over those games. I'll probably figure out what day to throw in another weekly tournament, I guess. Probably on Thursday, considering it's the only other day I'm free. And then Saturday I'll be hosting what could be my last Elden Ring tournament. So I'll keep you all posted in the core, just to the comings and goings. And a special thank you to Ryder of Rohan for stepping in and being an absolute legend in this free-for-all. Really appreciate you stepping in, brother, and thank you for the advice earlier on. I appreciate it. Alright, we're going to raid. I have no idea how to raid on YouTube still. I still haven't figured that out. Or what buttons I need to press. So, I guess you all have to deal with... Is there someone else live right now that I can send you all to? No. Okay. Alright. Well, goodbye, YouTube chat. Y'all are amazing. Bye-bye. And then I'll find some place to raid on Twitch. Okay. Now, what button do I need to press here? Okay. That's end stream. Excellent. Epic even. And then